Solo Leveling Season 2 continues to freaking slap. So far, the second season of Solo Leveling continues to be the best anime of 2025 so far, and I don't think it's planning on slowing down anytime soon. Hello everyone, I'm Finn. Welcome back to finnfilms. You guys already know the drill by now. In today's video, I'm going to be explaining everything that happened on this week's episode of Solo Leveling. Solo Leveling Season 2, Episode 7. An episode where this guy gets ego checked, these guild masters absolutely lose it, and Jin-woo finally gets declared the 10th S-ranked hunter in Korea. So, last time on Solo Leveling, our boy Jin-woo accompanying a high-rank strike team into a dungeon, and then everything went to shit. This dungeon actually being an upper A-rank dungeon, as the strike force found themselves about to be killed by a group of powerful high orcs and their sorcerer powerful leader. Jin-woo is then forced to reveal his full power in order to save this entire strike team as he goes completely Giga mode, summoning his necromantic army and soloing the boss without breaking a sweat. Jin-woo adding many of these powerful high orcs to his necromantic army, as well as claiming the dungeon's boss, who he names Tusk. Season 2, Episode 7 then picks up here at the Hunters Association, where a large group of journalists have gathered for a press conference with a well-known Korean actor named Lee Min-sung, who is about to announce that his hunter powers have awakened and that he has contracted himself with the Reaper Guild. This guy behind the scenes being a bit of an asshole, as he is only using this announcement as a PR move to distract from his many controversies. But unfortunately for him, today is the same day that Jin-woo will be evaluated and then announced to the world as the newest S-ranked hunter. We see the guild masters for the White Tiger and the Hunters Guild arrive at the Hunters Association in an attempt to recruit Jin-woo, as both are absolutely desperate to add our OP main character boy to their guilds. Jin-woo finally arrives and begins raining on Lee's press conference as the leader of the Hunters Association, Chairman Go, steps in, leading Jin-woo inside for his reassessment. The chairman scolding the actor, who he told not to hold a press conference at this time, as obviously he knew this would be the day when Jin-woo would be announced as Korea's 10th S-ranked hunter, the first S-ranked hunter to be revealed in 2 years. Jin-woo goes into the assessment where he tries to hold back just how powerful he is, but at this point the cat is basically out of the bag, as too many people have seen his full power on display, and so he shows off the full power of his necromantic summons, his magical aura absolutely stunning the 2 S-ranked guild masters, who are shocked at just how powerful Jin-woo really is. Little do they know, but this is only just part of Jin-woo's power, specifically his magical power, as he didn't even reveal his assassin and physical abilities in the assessment, as his summoning powers were more than enough to earn him the title of the newest S-ranked hunter in Korea, which is a scary thought. Jin-woo is then presented with his S-ranked Hunters Association card as the guild masters attempt to recruit him on his way out. But like the Giga Chad he is, Jin-woo completely blows them off, saying he has something important to attend to. As he exits the building, all eyes and the cameras turn to him, as it is broadcast all throughout South Korea that he is now the 10th S-ranked hunter, the newest S-ranked hunter to appear in Korea in the last 2 years. His sister, along with many of his other friends and characters we've seen throughout the series so far, seeing this news, all of them completely shocked and stunned. Yeah, our boy has come a very long way from that lonely little weak E-ranked hunter who got murked in the first 2 episodes of Solo Leveling Season 1. We flash over to Jinho and his father as Jinho reveals that Jin-woo turned down his offer to join his guild. Instead, Jin-woo asking his friend to leave his own guild, his father's guild, and then join up with him. To which shockingly Jinho agrees, leaving his father's guild and following his dreams and his new close friend. We see Jin-woo dip out on the reporters, his sheer speed absolutely breaking the White Tiger Guildmaster's mind. Jin-woo then heading to the Hunter's auction, picking up 2 flame-resistant items for his journey back inside the Demon Realm portal to gain the last piece of the Elixir of Life to cure his mother. We also get a fun little Easter egg and kind of homage to Power Rangers here in this scene with these helmets, and I wouldn't be surprised if many of the other items throughout the auction house were references to other anime shows and games. Meanwhile, the White Tiger Guildmaster is racking his mind over the sheer level of Jin-woo's strength and his power, as he begins to think that it might be possible that Jin-woo is a hunter who can perhaps get stronger over time, something that obviously we know as the audience is the case. We need to remember though that outside of Jin-woo, every other hunter's power in this world, in this show, is static. Outside of upgrades to items, gear, and weapons, a hunter's power cannot be increased. Jin-woo gets ready to set out as he enters the demon portal once again, leaving some of his minions around to guard his sister as well as look over the city. We then get an ominous shot of a flying bug in the night sky, the creature appearing later in the city in front of a group of hunters. This is one of the monsters from Jeju Island, an island that contains an S-ranked gate that spawned 4 years ago before the events of solo leveling. If we remember as well, over the course of this season, we've learned from the Hunters Guild that these bug creatures had developed these wings and getting stronger, but they were reluctant to release this information out to the public in fear of starting a panic, which now seems like a very massive mistake as one of these S-ranked monsters has made its way to the mainland. This monster likely to cause a lot of destruction in the next episode of solo leveling, and if just one of these monsters could potentially cause a lot of destructions, imagine if hundreds of them would make their way to the mainland. Meanwhile, Jin-woo enters the demon portal once again, donning his heat-resistant armor. We see just how powerful his new summoned tusk is with the power of the Avarice Sphere, the orc soloing a massive demon with one magical blast in one of the sickest animated scenes of solo leveling so far. Back in Korea, we see Jinho's father collapse unexpectedly, waking up in the hospital, where it is revealed that he has contracted the eternal sleep disease, the same disease that Jinwoo's mother has. The doctor revealing that this disease is passed when non-hunters are exposed to large amounts of magical energy, meaning that it is possible that it was Jinho, his son, who gave his father the disease. However, Jinho was only exposed to powerful magical energy because of his relationship with Jinwoo, meaning that it is very likely that Jinwoo is the reason why Jinho's father has contracted this disease. And it'll be very interesting to see how this kind of dynamic plays out over the next few episodes of solo leveling. Our episode closing with Jinwoo hunting down this group of demon knights, our boy hitting us with one of the most badass lines of solo leveling so far. I was wondering if magical beasts feel fear, as our episode ends. Another absolute banger episode of solo leveling. This show continues to surprise me, and it continues to just not let up with just how good this is in season 2. One of the things that I was really curious about with season 2 of solo leveling was just how they would handle the kind of pacing of this arc of solo leveling, but we are just blasting through it. There really is no downtime, no moments of like filler for solo leveling. While yes, some of the episodes are a bit slower paced, we really are just blasting through a lot of the kind of like, you know, the more slower moments of season 2 of solo leveling, whether that's Jinwoo going through the two reassessment segments, which them in themselves, while they aren't crazy action segments, they are a bit slower. They are super interesting as we finally get to see our boy reveal himself on the world stage as the newest S-ranked hunter, and what this means for him as well as for the futures of Hunter and the futures of Korea. I think they've done an amazing job with the pacing of this show. Honestly, even some of the episodes that don't have crazy action scenes are still extremely entertaining to watch, and they usually do give us one at least crazy action scene, crazy series of animation in every episode, as we saw here kind of towards the end. One of the most interesting things about this episode, though, was the kind of reveal and teaser for the next arc in solo leveling, the Jeju Island arc, specifically with the flying S-ranked bugs that we saw in just a few scenes in this episode. The showrunners very much setting up and teasing this next arc and the kind of dealing with the hunters of this crazy S-ranked portal. As like I said earlier on in the video, we need to remember that Jeju Island, 4 years before the events of solo leveling, had an S-ranked gate portal open up, a dungeon break happening, and all of these monsters coming to the mainland, killing thousands and thousands of Koreans, forcing all of the guilds to come together to try and stop these monsters. However, they weren't strong enough to be able to close this portal. However, now that they have Jinwoo, arguably the strongest hunter in the entire world, or at least he has the ability to, because he can obviously constantly get stronger, it seems that it is possible for them to come together, the hunters to come together once more in Korea, and actually manage to close this S-ranked portal and gate. However, I imagine a lot of people are going to die in the process before this happens. As well, we have another reference and kind of further mystery of the eternal slumber disease, the disease that Jinwoo's mother came under early on in the events of solo leveling, the thing that Jinwoo has been working towards basically the entire 2 seasons of solo leveling so far. At its core, the two things that are motivating Jinwoo's character is sending his sister to medical school to make money to provide for his family, and to find some kind of way to cure his mother's eternal sleeping disease, which we know is the elixir of life. At this point in time, Jin-woo was just one ingredient away from actually being able to craft this elixir and cure his mother of this disease, but now we see another character coming down with this eternal slumber disease. We don't really know the exact origin of this disease, at least at this point in Solo Leveling, though in this episode it was teased that generally people, non-hunters, who have non-magical resistance, generally undergo this disease whenever they encounter large amounts of magic. Generally, but not always, them contracting this disease from contact with hunters. So then we have to wonder what exactly is going to happen with Jinho's father, as we need to remember that he is the leader of a relatively pretty powerful guild and the resources that come with that, and what this will mean for Jinho if his father were to never wake up again, if he were to die from this disease, or if it is possible that Jin-woo could somehow produce maybe another elixir of life and give it to his dear friend to help his father wake up. I've imagined that this Jinho's father undergoing the eternal slumber disease is going to have large impact for the future story of Solo Leveling, and specifically for these two characters, for our two best friend boys. At this point in our story, Solo Leveling is really starting to heat up and open up in a lot of the different plot story elements, as Jin-woo has finally revealed himself as the newest S-ranked hunter. Our OP main character boy is finally out in the open. Because of this, things are only going to get crazier from here on out in Solo Leveling over the next several major story arcs, as we need to remember that there are so many different kind of story, like beats hidden in the background, moving in the background. While Jinwoo's primary motivation has been curing his mother, there are all these other story beats. For example, like the Jeju Island situation, which is the next arc of Solo Leveling, as well as the mystery of the portals, the mystery of the magical beasts, and the mystery of the systems. All of these things playing in the background throughout Solo Leveling so far, and we can't forget the massive reveal in the early episodes of Solo Leveling Season 2 of Jinwoo's father. Jinwoo's father, an uber powerful hunter, suddenly reappearing on the scenes and making his way back to Korea, where I imagine that he will discover that his son, his young boy son, is now the newest S-ranked hunter, one of the most powerful hunters in all of Korea. And if we remember, Jinwoo's father hinted that he has a certain special kind of mission, a mission relating to the origins of the portals and the monsters themselves, and so there are all of these other kind of big story elements interplaying in the background, all these mysteries, kind of lingering, very like Attack on Titan style in the background, that are slowly going to get resolved and reveal themselves more as we continue throughout Solo Leveling, and I absolutely love it. Solo Leveling has easily been one of my favorite anime to come out in the last few years. I've said this several times before, but I think if it wasn't for the release of Dawn to Dawn in the later half of 2024, Solo Leveling Season 1 probably would have been the best anime of 2024, and it's very possible that Solo Leveling Season 2 could be the best anime of 2025 when things are all said and done later this year, but we have a lot of anime to be released before we can really make that decision. So far though, so good for Solo Leveling, and I've really been pleasantly surprised with how well they've managed to adapt this manhwa, not only in how it looks, as everyone knew, if you've seen any of the panels from the manhwa Solo Leveling, you knew that visually, artistically, it was going to look amazing in the anime, but I was really curious how well they were going to be able to adapt the actual story, the substance itself of Solo Leveling, as well as a lot of the kind of, the character development of our main characters throughout this anime. But so far, so good for Solo Leveling. I can only hope that they continue to deliver on the excellence that they've been giving us so far, and that we don't have ourselves a bit of a My Hero Academia situation. As always though, guys, with these videos, these are just my thoughts and opinions, so let me know what you thought of Solo Leveling Season 2, Episode 7 in the comment section down below. As always, if you did enjoy this video, please make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, as that is the easiest way to support me, and it really does go a long way in putting these videos into the algorithm. If you did enjoy this video, then want to check out some of my other anime content on screen now, and as always, I hope to see you in the next one. Until next time, stay safe out there. Peace, love, Adu.